What's up, y'all? This is Lou. So, right now, let's discuss non white supremacists. Because, as we say, where I'm from, they out there. First of all, this comes on a recent occurrence of a couple of guys doing some pretty bad things and indicating their political ideologies or social ideologies. Um, and it comes with the inability to grasp why someone of different ethnicities might subscribe to an idea that seems contradictory to the the prospering or the betterment of those ethnicities. So, first of all, let's begin by saying there are white Latinos. Um, this is something that has been an ongoing debate, especially throughout my life. Just the observation: white people in America seem to have a hard time wrapping their minds around the idea that people from Latin American countries can also be white. Now, I will say I've also seen this with black people, where it's like they don't consider Afro Hispanics black, but they're black. And the reason that black is used as a descriptive term that way is because uh, you can say that they are detached from their uh, African heritage because they got to Latin American countries the same way black people got to the U.S. Now, white Latinos is a little bit different. Um, they tend to be descended from colonizers from Spain and Portugal. And if you look at where they live geographically in those countries, where they live tend to look suspiciously like former plantations. Um, so there are people in Latin American countries who would consider themselves white, as in descended from Europe, and who look down on people who are not. So that's the first thing to clear up. The next thing is, so why would people of this persuasion or of any other throughout the world, be it Indian, be it even African or African American, why would they subscribe to an ideology that seems to be oppressive towards themselves? Now, you could make the self-loathing argument. I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, and there are people who don't think that. There are people out there, and I've had discussions with them both online and in person, who think that no, no one who's not white can be a white supremacist. It's like they gatekeep white supremacy with whiteness. If you're not white, then you by default you can't be a white supremacist. If you are not white, if you're not Aryan, you can't be a Nazi. It doesn't mean you can't buy into the ideology. And why would anyone? Well, it's very simple. It's an appeal to power. Okay, if you think about, slavers did this by dividing their slaves. Okay, first of all, no wealthy plantation owner is going to be out in the field whipping slaves all day themselves. Like, that's work they don't want to do. So they have two choices. They can either hire someone to do that work, which could get expensive depending on the size of your plantation and the quality of work you want. You want them to like really keep these people afraid. Or you can groom one of their own to do it. You pick one that is more agreeable. You give them a little bit better food. You give them a little bit better, you let them sleep in the big house, or you give them better lodging. And first of all, that's going to create a divide right there, because their own people are going to be suspicious of it. Why are they treating you so good? And then you slowly groom them into that position. Your job is to help me keep these people in check. Okay? And they're going to be willing to do that job so long as they want better treatment. Sooner or later, they may psychologically break and be like, I can no longer take how my people are being treated. Unless they're sociopathic, in which case they'll go to their grave like that. They don't care. But this appeal to power is the same trope you see in movies with bullies, where the bully is almost never alone. The bully almost always has a couple friends. Why does the bully have a couple friends? They often treat those friends like crap too. But the mentality of the friend is, Well, if I do what he wants, he's not going to bully me quite as hard as he's going to bully you. So I'm good. Like, I'm in a more advantageous position, or her. There's Mean Girl movies where the Mean Girls are always in cliques, but there's always one girl who's nastier than the others. And why do the others even hang around with them? Well, because she helps them get what they want at the end of the day. That's what it is. It's just an appeal to power. And yeah, you can make the argument that sooner or later that bully is going to eventually turn on their friends too, is going to turn on that person too. But as long as it doesn't happen, they consider themselves in an advantageous position. Like I had a guy that works out at our gym tell me about a Nigerian footballer who was running around with skinhead gangs when he got to the UK, because that's who he ended up making friends with pretty quickly, and was like beating up other black people with them. Now, I told him, I said, didn't the thought occur to him that once they've gotten rid of all the black people around, they're going to turn to him and look at him like this and go, hey, you realize it should be your turn now, right? Because, we don't want any of you here. But up until that point, he's in an advantageous position. So this appeal to power has long been standing through history. People who do this, uh, they view the political group or social group that they favor as being more powerful or correct in some way, shape, or form, or they just really don't like their own people and their own background, where they come from, so much they feel alienated, and they need to feel protected and accepted by someone. So they'll go to the enemies of their own people. Don't matter. Uh, but there is absolutely no sense in denying that these people exist. There's no sense in denying that someone who wears the tats, that someone who signs their signature with an SS, there's no denying that that person, and I say, some people say Nazi adjacent, some people say, like some people say sympathizer. I don't say that, because to me, if you are even adjacent or a sympathizer, you are as bad as that thing. Especially if you're sporting the gear and like putting that crap on your body. So just wanted to cover this real quick. It's a thing. There are non-white white supremacists out there, and they are a problem. In fact, a lot of them are quicker to radicalize and do crazy stuff. This has been Lou, on your left.